I'll never forget that night. It was around 2 a.m. when a sharp pain in my calf jolted me awake. A cramp. I leapt out of bed, trying to stretch my leg, but it felt like it had turned to stone. After a few minutes, it passed, but sleep was gone. By morning, I felt wrung out like a squeezed lemon. This kept happening over and over, and I, as a doctor, couldn't figure out why. At first, I thought maybe it's age, maybe a lack of magnesium. I drank water, took supplements, but the cramps kept coming back until I paid attention to what I was eating at night. Today, I'll tell you about 7 foods that, while they seem completely harmless, can trigger nighttime cramps, especially in older adults. And you're probably eating at least one of them for dinner every day. At the end of the video, I'll show you what to replace them with to sleep peacefully, without pain, without panic in the middle of the night. Watch until the end, because food number 6 seems healthy. But in old age, it can disrupt electrolyte balance and cause sudden spasms. You'll be surprised. Now, I'll show you the 7 foods, with an explanation of why they're dangerous for dinner, especially for older adults. After this, you'll be able to adjust your diet and reclaim restful, pain-free sleep. Food number 1, pickles and fermented vegetables, a trap before bed. One night, I came home exhausted. I wanted something simple. I opened a jar of pickled cucumbers, sliced some bread, and put a piece of cheese on the side. A dinner like many have light, satisfying. But at 2 a.m, like clockwork, a sharp cramp in my foot. I got up, paced the room, drank water, massaged the muscle. Only at dawn could I fall back asleep. What happened? The secret lies in salt. Pickles, sauerkraut, and fermented vegetables contain large amounts of sodium, and too much sodium flushes out potassium, one of the key minerals that regulates muscle relaxation. When the balance between sodium and potassium is disrupted, especially in an older person's body, muscles become hypersensitive and can react with cramps, even from a slight movement during sleep. On top of that, pickles often cause thirst and hidden dehydration. You might think you're drinking enough, but salty foods throw off your fluid balance. Without enough liquid, minerals don't reach the cells, triggering a chain reaction spasm. Pain. Waking up. What to do? Eliminate pickles from dinner entirely. If you really crave them, eat them in the first half of the day. At lunch, at night, opt for fresh or roasted vegetables, with a pinch of sea salt or none at all. I replaced pickles with warm zucchini with herbs, and my nights became calmer. Try it for at least 3 days, and your body will thank you. Food number 2, black tea, a silent disruptor of sleep and minerals. I was convinced a cup of strong black tea at night was healthy. It warms you up, relaxes you, helps digest food. I drank tea every night for nearly 30 years. Then the cramps started. My legs would cramp in the middle of the night, especially my calves and toes. I didn't connect it to the tea until I stopped drinking it. The problem lies in tannins, a substance that gives tea its astringent taste. It turns out tannins bind to magnesium and iron in the gut, hindering their absorption. And magnesium is key for relaxing muscles. Without it, they become jittery, ready to spasm at the slightest signal. Plus, tea is a diuretic. It's subtle, but it speeds up fluid loss from the body. You drink, but you lose water. And with it, potassium and sodium, whose balance is already shaky in older adults. The result, dehydration, mineral deficiency, cramps. Another factor, many people drink tea after dinner with jam, honey, or bread. This causes a sudden spike in blood sugar, and the sharp drop in glucose a few hours later is another trigger for nighttime cramps. The brain wakes up. The muscles react. What to do? Simple: cut out black tea after 5 Mom. Replace it with a warm infusion of chamomile, lemon balm, or linden. These herbs don't deplete minerals, don't interfere with magnesium absorption, and actually help muscles relax and prepare for sleep. I switched to chamomile with a teaspoon of honey, and within a week, I started waking up without cramps. Calmness, lightness, deep sleep, all from a cup of the right drink. Food number 3, bananas. Not as harmless as they seem at night. All my life, I considered bananas the perfect snack. Soft, sweet, rich in potassium. What could be better, especially at night, when you don't want anything heavy? I often ate a banana with tea before bed. But on those nights, cramps woke me up more often. I couldn't believe the banana was to blame. Until I dug deeper. Yes, bananas are rich in potassium, but they also contain high levels of sugars and starch. When we eat them at night, especially in older age, they quickly raise blood sugar levels. And a few hours later, those levels crash just as fast. In that moment, during hypoglycemia, muscles can sound an alarm and contract. But that's not all. Bananas, especially unripe ones, contain lectins, substances that can irritate the gut and hinder magnesium absorption. Without magnesium, potassium doesn't work. So, you're eating a source of potassium, but your body can't use it. The result is a paradox. It seems healthy, but actually triggers a nighttime spasm. I started keeping a food diary and found that if I ate a banana 1 or 2 hours before bed, the chance of a cramp doubled. I replaced it with a small portion of cottage cheese or a handful of pumpkin seeds. They also have potassium but no sugar and a slight calming effect. Bananas aren't the enemy, but not for dinner or before bed, especially for older adults. In the morning, go ahead, they truly provide energy and nourishment. But at night, it's better to avoid them. Food number 4, hard cheese, a salty source that disrupts sleep. For many years, my dinner was simple: a piece of bread, tea, and a slice of cheese. I thought it was light, didn't weigh down the stomach, and was even good for bones. But on those nights, leg cramps started happening more often. Here's what I discovered. Hard cheeses, especially aged ones, are a hidden source of salt. A small slice can contain 500 to 800 milligrams of sodium. In older adults, even that amount can disrupt the fragile electrolyte balance, especially at night when kidneys work slower and there's less fluid in the body. The salt in cheese increases potassium loss through urine and interferes with the cellular channels responsible for muscle relaxation. Plus, cheese is rich in tryptophan, but when eaten with bread, as many do, it causes a sugar spike followed by a nighttime crash, which can trigger a cramp, a seize. Another detail: cheeses often contain tyrosine, which in sensitive people can heighten nervous excitement, making deep sleep and muscle relaxation harder. What to do? First, limit or eliminate hard cheeses at night. If you want something dairy, go for a bit of unsalted cottage cheese with a drop of flaxseed oil and herbs. This provides protein and calcium without disrupting mineral balance. I replaced cheese with 2 or 3 walnuts and a warm herbal infusion. The cramps vanished, and my sleep became deeper. Remember, even healthy foods can be harmful if you don't consider age and timing. Food number 5, carbonated drinks and sparkling mineral water, enemies of restful sleep. One summer, when it was very hot, I started drinking more water. Sometimes I wanted something livelier and bought sparkling mineral water. At night, a glass. And it seemed fine. But that same night, a cramp. First in one leg, then the other. Like an electric shock. And it kept happening. The problem wasn't the water, but the carbon dioxide and hidden properties of carbonated drinks. Sparkling drinks, even mineral water, can increase calcium loss through the kidneys. This is because they create an acidic load in the body. To balance it, the body pulls calcium from bones and muscles, and calcium is essential for relaxing muscle fibers. Plus, some mineral waters contain high sodium levels, which, with regular consumption, disrupts the potassium balance. In older adults whose kidneys work slower, this is especially dangerous. The water's there, but the electrolytes slip away. If you drink sparkling water after dinner, especially with food, it can increase bloating, gut irritation, and reduce magnesium and calcium absorption. All of this can lead to nighttime muscle cramps. What to do? Replace all carbonated drinks with plain filtered water or light herbal infusions. If you want flavor, add a few drops of lemon, some mint leaves, or a cucumber slice. It's refreshing and harmless. I cut out bubbles entirely. In 3 days, I noticed I sleep better. No cramps. Digestion is calmer. A simple change with remarkable results. Food, 6. Chocolate, a sweet trigger of nighttime cramps. All my life, I loved a piece of dark chocolate at night, especially after dinner, with tea or as dessert. It seemed harmless. A bit of dark chocolate is even good for the heart and blood vessels. But with age, I noticed that on those nights, cramps were more frequent, especially near dawn, when the body should be resting. I researched chocolate's composition and found something unexpected. Even dark chocolate contains caffeine and theobromine, natural stimulants. These activate the nervous system, increase muscle tone, and raise heart rate. It seems minor, but in old age, this stimulation prevents the body from entering deep sleep, where muscles should rest. Plus, chocolate often contains oxalates, substances that bind to calcium and hinder its absorption. Without calcium, muscles become vulnerable to spasms. This is especially noticeable at night, when blood calcium levels naturally drop. And there's more sugar, even in bitter chocolate. There's plenty. It causes a glucose spike, followed by a sharp drop. These ups and downs are a major trigger for nighttime cramps. What to do if you love chocolate? Move it to the first half of the day. Eat it after breakfast, not at night. Or replace it with a spoonful of unsweetened cocoa, dissolved in warm water with cinnamon. It's tasty, satisfying, and doesn't cause nighttime issues. I stopped eating chocolate after dinner. Instead, I have herbal tea with a bit of honey and walnuts. Now, nights are calm, no pain, no cramps, no sudden wake-ups. Food number 7, alcohol, a stealthy destroyer of nighttime peace. I wasn't a big drinker, but on holidays or in good company, I'd allow myself a glass of wine with dinner. It seemed to relax me, lift my mood, help me sleep. But on those nights, I'd wake up with cramps in my foot, my thigh. It was like a cruel joke, a little wine at night, and sharp pain in the middle of the night. It wasn't about the amount, but the mechanism of alcohol. Even a small dose causes dehydration, even if it's subtle. You might not feel thirsty, but the body loses water through breathing, kidneys, and skin, and with it, magnesium, potassium, and calcium essential for muscles at night. Plus, alcohol interferes with vasopressin production, the hormone that regulates water and salt balance. Without it, the body doesn't retain fluids. The result, electrolytes leave the body, and while you sleep, muscles suddenly contract, unable to relax. But that's not all. Alcohol disrupts sleep phases. You may fall asleep faster, but you don't reach deep, restorative sleep. And it's in this phase that muscle regeneration and recovery happen. Cramps often strike when transitioning between sleep phases if this process is interrupted. What to do? Simple: eliminate alcohol at night entirely. Even a glass of wine or a shot of liquor can cause nighttime pain. If you want a ritual, pour hot tea with ginger or water with lemon. It's gentle, warming, and doesn't disrupt balance. Since I stopped drinking alcohol after 6 p.m., I sleep better, wake up rested, and haven't had a single cramp. The calm in my body is the best proof of a good choice. What to eat at night for peaceful, cramp-free sleep. When I realized dinner affected my nighttime cramps more than vitamins, I started adjusting my diet, not all at once, but step by step. Here's what my nighttime diet looks like now: simple, warm, and most importantly, it gives my body rest. Dinner time, no later than 6:30 or 7 p.m. This gives the body 3 to 4 hours to digest before sleep. What I eat for dinner: steamed or roasted vegetables, broccoli, zucchini, cauliflower, pumpkin. They're rich in potassium and don't burden the stomach. A bit of protein, a boiled egg, 2 tablespoons of unsalted cottage cheese, a piece of baked fish, grains in water buckwheat or quinoa, which provide magnesium and don't spike blood sugar. Healthy fats, a tablespoon of olive or flaxseed oil, which helps absorb vitamins. What I drink: warm herbal tea chamomile, lemon balm or mint, or warm water, with lemon and a drop of honey if I want something sweet. What I avoid: cheese, pickles, bananas, black tea, chocolate, alcohol, carbonated drinks, before bed 30-60. Minutes before: a handful of pumpkin seeds, rich in magnesium and zinc, or half a baked apple with cinnamon, which calms gently. Since following this dinner routine, my nights are peaceful. I no longer wake up with leg pain, and I'm not afraid to go to sleep. Remember, nighttime food isn't about filling up, it's about recovery. Give your body a chance to rest, and it will thank you with healthy sleep. I've lived many years, and believe me, I've had all kinds of nights, but the worst are those when pain wakes you up. You don't control your body. The cramp paralyzes you. Like fear, you get up, walk, drink water, wait for it to pass. And in the morning, you don't feel older, you feel weaker. But everything changed when I realized it's not age, it's the plate. It turned out my dinners were harming me without me knowing. I didn't realize a healthy banana or a piece of cheese could cause such a reaction. But when I started experimenting, eliminating, replacing, the cramps disappeared. Now I fall asleep peacefully. I sleep deeply. I wake up feeling my body is my ally, not a source of fear. And I want you to feel the same. You don't need to change everything at once. Start small. Cut out at least one of these 7 foods at night. Try it for 3 days. Listen to your body. And if you feel better, keep going. Because a peaceful night isn't luck. It's the result of care. Please write in the comments. Which of these foods do you eat for dinner? Which surprised you? And which are you ready to replace today? Share this video with your loved ones. Maybe someone else is suffering from nighttime cramps, but doesn't know why. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video, where I'll talk about 3 bedtime drinks that strengthen blood vessels and prevent heart attacks. And remember, even at 70, 80, or 90, you can control your body through food, through self-love. Just start today.